You're a progressive.
America first.
Respectfully, you're a progressive.
America first.
You're a Bernie Sanders
Who
progressive.
gives a fuck what I am, Adam? What I give a fuck about is what's right and what the evidence indicates.
I think people should understand who you are.
Are you Israel first? Because
no, I'm America
it sure seems like it. No, you're not.
I'm America first.
You're not. You're not.
I'm defending Israel.
I didn't attack you for being Jewish. Don't put words in my mouth. Don't put words in my mouth. Don't do this whole like, oh, you hate Jews bullshit.
Like you're the type of woman that disgusts men. Because as you're trying to talk, you just keep yapping. We give money to Palestine. We give money to Egypt. We give money to every single country in the world.
Currently, Israel is carrying out ethnic cleansing and genocide of Palestinians. So I mean,
a genocide.
Yeah, it is a genocide.
And there's no other genocides going on in the world. It's just
we don't fund those genocides. We fund this genocide.
Anna Kasparian's gonna wipe the floor with Adam Sosnick, aka Patrick Bot David's sidekick, hype man, and part-time spokesperson for the Israeli Ministry of Gaslighting. Adam's gonna spend the whole segment pretending to be America first, but the only flag he's waving is blue and white, and it ain't for Dallas. His arguments are so limp, you think they came with a prescription for Viagra. Anna's not just gonna shut him down, she's gonna undress every bogus claim with the kind of precision that makes you wonder if Adam prepped for this debate by binge-watching APAC highlight reels. If bootlicking was an Olympic sport, Adam would have podiumed by now. Get ready, Anna's not gonna hold back, and neither is my takes on this. Let's go.
Just said this. Okay, but hold on. Tulsi Gabbard in March said they don't have a nuclear weapon and they're not building a nuclear weapon.
They said they were enriching uranium.
They do. Okay.
What are they doing that to watch TV?
Okay.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I understand where you're at.
Listen,
it's hard to make your argument when you don't have a standard
congratulations, Adam. We're going to send American soldiers to it.
We are.
That's what Netanyahu is pushing for right now.
But it doesn't mean that
do you think a regime change war is going to be an easy war to fight?
Let's play in realpolitik. Let's play in reality. If, woulda, coulda, shoulda. How about what's happening now?
Okay, let's go to Wesley Clark.
Hold on a second.
Let her
Let's go to Wesley Clark. Let's go to Wesley Clark.
Let her finish.
I don't know that she has a point.
Okay.
Her point is I'm pro-Iran and I'm anti-Israel. I'm with you.
Hold on. Let her make her point.
Back in 2007, General Wesley Clark was told something that he found deeply, deeply problematic. This is in 2007. Let's watch the video. Let's put the volume up. Take a look.
And he said, this is a memo that describes how we're going to take out 7 countries in 5 years, starting with Iraq and then Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and finishing off Iran. About 10 days after 9/11, I went through the Pentagon, and one of the generals called me in. He said, "Sir, you got to come in. You got to come in and talk to me a second." I said, "Well, you're too busy." He said, "No." He says, "We've made the decision. We're going to war with Iraq." This was on or about the 20th of September. I said, "We're going to war with Iraq. Why?"
Why?
He said, "I don't know." He said, "I guess they don't know what else to do." So I said, "Well, did they find some information connecting Saddam to Al-Qaeda?" He said, No. He says, "There's nothing new that way. They just made the decision to go to war with Iraq." He said, "I guess it's like we don't know what to do about terrorists, but we've got a good military and we can take down governments." And he said, "I guess if the only tool you have is a hammer, every problem has to look like a nail."
Exactly.
But notice,
so I came back to see him a few weeks later.
The neocons in the Republican Party are still in charge. They're still in charge. They still have quite a bit of sway, clearly, because unfortunately, going along with what Israel just did in striking Iran is going to lead to a full-blown war. Netanyahu isn't even hiding the ball. He's being very clear that he wants regime change in Iran. Go ahead. Iran is not Iraq, by the way. You're right about that, Jillian. Iran is not Iraq. Iran is far more superior in their military capacity and capability. It is a country of 90 million people, okay? The fact
who
that
want
he's
to be free.
Okay.
Yeah,
first of all, they do.
They
want
hold on. Regime.
Iran
they beat women to death.
Wait, hold on a second. I know. That's
it's okay. It's okay.
Guys, that
Let's
video
beat some
is
women.
Hold on. Yeah,
I've been trying to
go.
Okay, so that video was from 2007. Can we please all remember who the president of the United States is?
George Bush.
Well, right now, I mean, it's Donald Trump who ran on the platform of, come on, America first.
Right, he did.
Ran
but
on
is he going to follow through on that?
Not intervening. I'm actually in. You talk about ostriches. I'm one of your ostriches. I don't want to get involved in other people's shit. I want to focus on all the problems we have here and just get it sorted out. I don't want to go overseas. So in that regard, I'm with you. I just think that you're fighting a straw man argument. I don't think we are in danger of going. I don't think we're in danger of sending our boys overseas. I just don't see that happening because this guy ran on a. You think MAGA is going to be okay?
There's a genuine concern that she has, without question.
Yeah.
There is.
Did you vote for Trump?
No, I did not vote.
You didn't vote for Trump?
No, I didn't. I didn't vote.
Hold on, let me ask this question. Who did you vote for?
I didn't vote for either
saying that there's
candidate. I
no
didn't like
way
either
that
candidate.
So you didn't vote for Trump.
Listen,
so you're
Adam,
not America first.
Adam, are you kidding me right now?
You're not America.
You
You
can
didn't
be
vote for
America
Trump.
first and not vote for Trump. Okay, America first means
if you were
want...
America first, you would have voted for
Means you're a
Trump.
populist, and you are a populist.
I am a
correct?
populist, yes.
You're a progressive.
America first.
And respectfully, you're a progressive.
America first.
You're a Bernie Sanders
Who
progressive.
gives up what I am, Adam? What I give up about is what's
because
right
you're a
and what
talking
the
head on the
evidence
internet,
indicates.
and I think people should understand who you are.
Are you Israel first? Because
No, I'm
it sure
America
seems
first.
like it. No, you're not.
I'm
you're not.
America
You're
first.
not. You're not.
Because I voted for Trump, America first.
Because you constantly provide cover for
I
the
am
country
Jewish.
that we spend $3 billion on every year.
Are you?
In addition to every time they get into a war, we're the ones who shell out the money, shell out the money, shell out the money.
Are you Armenian?
While our
Are you
Americans
Armenian?
are homeless, they're
Answer
sick
the
and
question,
dying,
yapping
and I'm
lady.
sick of this.
Are you
Now,
Armenian?
dude, why are you asking me questions about myself? This isn't about me.
You just
this
said
is
something
about a political issue.
You just said something about myself, so I'm asking
After
you
you
a question.
asked me about myself.
We're not even asking personal attacks. Let's grow up.
Just look at Anna's face. She's about to steamroll over Adam. Adam's out here gatekeeping America first, like it's his family's inheritance. But the only thing he's inheriting is talking points straight from Netanyahu's bedside drawer. Anna's right to call his bluff. This man thinks voting for Trump is the official stamp of patriotism while ignoring the billions we funnel to foreign apartheid regime. When challenged, he does what every flailing mouthpiece does: deflect, project, and cries identity politics like a toddler who dropped his lollipop. Anna's not just right, she's dragging him out of his delusion, and he's too busy playing victim to notice he's already lost the argument.
Are you Armenian?
Yeah, I'm Armenian.
So do you care about Armenia?
I do care about Armenia.
So do you,
yes.
do you want the best for Armenians?
I do want the best for Armenians.
Okay, that's
but
great.
if Armenia
So I feel
was
the same
trying
way
to
about
drag,
Israel.
if Armenia was trying to drag,
but I feel the same
listen
way
to
about
me.
Israel.
If Armenia was trying to
So
drag
what's
the
the
United
difference?
States into an offensive war on its behalf, I would have problems with
Well, that's kind of like your opinion, man.
Wait,
that's not the actual
That's not an
facts.
argument,
Can I
Adam.
ask one question?
But you just attacked me
That's
for
not
being
an
Jewish
argument.
and so defending Israel.
I didn't attack you for being Jewish. Don't put
yes,
words
you
in my
did.
mouth.
You just
Don't
said
put words in my mouth.
Listen,
don't do this whole like,
yapping
oh, you hate
woman.
Jews bullshit.
Like
okay?
you're the type of woman that
I'm talking about the
disgusts
policy.
men because
Okay, stop,
as you're trying to talk, you just keep yapping.
Have you seen my husband?
You love
Trust
Armenia.
me, I don't discuss men.
I'm sure your husband's
We
very
agree on
feminine.
personal attacks.
ahead.
Stop. Here's okay.
There's no way a real man would
Hold
put up
on.
with
I
this.
completely
Right, okay.
lost
I'm
track.
just saying, no
Hang
real
on,
man would
gee,
want to
guys,
hear
Listen,
hey,
if you-
stop.
Personal attack.
If you had an
Hold
argument,
on.
you wouldn't.
You're Armenia first, so you're not?
Okay, hold on. Does anybody have a legitimate?
Are you like literally retarded?
No?
Guys,
Pretty smart.
guys,
Seems like you're pretty retarded.
Listen to me.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna call Vinny in here to start slapping people around. I can't
Let's get
control
him.
this. And my flag is not upside down on purpose. I cannot rotate the pin, so I'm not anti-American. With that said, okay, a genuine question for you.
Okay.
Okay, is it possible? And I'm obviously there's no way to know if I'm right or I'm wrong here. But is it possible that some of the stuff you're talking about was actually the United States agenda, and we utilized Israel to do our dirty work? Is it
What dirty work
possible?
did they do for
Okay,
us?
But you're talking about Iraq. You're talking about
Right.
For example,
Is it
with Iraq,
possible?
hold
Answer
on.
the question.
But Israel didn't send IDF soldiers to fight in Iraq. We sent our soldiers
know.
to fight
She
in
tried to
Iraq.
ask you a question and you
I'm
started
talking about,
answering
okay.
it. Ask her the
but
question.
But they backed us up with their intelligence. They
Right,
gave.
right.
Anna,
Their
listen to
intelligence
me.
was that
She asked you
Saddam
a
Hussein had
question.
weapons of
Is
mass
it
destruction.
possible?
What I'm saying.
Jillian, please ask that question.
Who was behind Iraq? Like, we know that it was Condoleezza Rice, it was Dick Cheney. Oh my God, I forgot the guy's name. The friggin'
Colin Powell.
Thank you,
Colin
Powell.
Powell.
The other guy that was with Bush. It was
The devil.
Okay, my point is that was not just Netanyahu. And the thing is, what I get slightly concerned about is that we're like, look at this little country, they're evil. And it's that rhetoric scares me a lot. I do see all your concerns with Netanyahu. You're very legitimate to be concerned about it. But right now, if I could just step back, right, and say, as I've been watching Trump this first time, I've been completely confounded. And like, I just don't understand his one thing, like the one bad guy, the one like country that he was willing to conduct attacks on was Iran. He's like, I came out of that 2018 deal. They were dishonest. It was a terrible deal. They were allowed to enrich uranium, blah, blah, blah. Okay, whatever, believe true or not. He didn't do that to anyone else. Then it was, he took out ISIS. He went after Soleimani. He bankrupted the country. He's been genuinely concerned, and he didn't get us into any new wars. He wanted out of Afghanistan. He wasn't engaging in regime changes. So all of a sudden, it's like, I'm going to do a deal with Iran. I'm not going to put sanctions on Putin. because he's going to cooperate in a deal with Iran, which does that mean Putin's going to look the other way if I don't put sanctions on him for Ukraine?
Cooperate with Ukraine, you mean, right?
I'm saying Trump said after that whole Operation Spiderweb thing fell apart, he still didn't put sanctions on Putin. But he turned around and he's like, well, I talked to Putin for an hour and 15 minutes. There's not going to be any peace over there. But we talked about a deal with Iran. He's going to be helpful. Obviously, they clearly discussed that this was going to happen. My point is, the administration knew. The administration wanted to do this. I don't think Netanyahu is pulling Trump's strings. I think Trump has had a bone to pick with Iran since his first term. And I worry that if we're like, Israel's doing this, that there's a Venn diagram there with that makes me very nervous with regard to...
But Jill, do you understand why I say Israel is doing this? It's because of the long history of Israel trying to goad us into war with Iran. That's why I'm saying it. Again, it's Netanyahu's own words dating back to the 1990s. You say that Israel helps us with intelligence. Okay, well, I wonder where we got our intelligence that Iraq had nuclear weapons.
No, that was
or weapons of mass destruction.
There was no intelligence. It was a lie. We knew it was a lie.
But where did that lie come from?
It came from Cheney. And
it wasn't just Cheney. Cheney in the very, very, very beginning.
All those neocons they didn't have WMDs.
Let me just finish my point.
Okay.
Cheney in the there's a really great book about this, okay, if you guys want to read, and it's full of evidence. So it's called The Israel Lobby, okay? In the very, very, very beginning of this whole debate about whether or not the United States should do a preemptive war in Iraq, Cheney wasn't convinced, believe it or not. But he was eventually convinced with the intel, allegedly, that there were weapons of mass destruction in Iraq.
I read another book called Provoked, written by Scott Horton, and his argument is that Cheney wasn't convinced until Halliburton was bankrupt.
There's an oil
had to go
component.
Get into the whole mix. So there's differing perspectives on this. I would simply ask you, Iran, you don't see them as a threat. They didn't come to the table. They had an opportunity to.
But they... Jill, they did. They did come to the table.
60 days.
The gaslighting on this issue is unbearable, and it's very reminiscent of the gaslighting that took place in the lead up to Iraq.
Why are they the top state funders of terror?
I think Iran poses a national security threat to Israel.
I don't agree with you.
They do, though.
That is true, right?
No, to Israel and...
Yeah.
They destabilize the entire Middle East. The Saudis can't stand them. The Qataris can't stand them.
Look, listen.
Do you understand what she just said? She's bringing a very good point to the table.
Israel and said, we want to expand. What if, in my dream world, and I am not saying you are wrong, there's a very good chance that you're right. I'm simply trying to open up the possibility that Trump doesn't want forever wars. He hasn't engaged in regime change to date. Okay? That now his goal is to win a peace prize. He's trying to expand the Abraham Accords. Syria reached out to Israel and said, we want in. Does it free up that region to stabilize things with these, I mean, I'm sorry, bad actors and evil regime, arguably defanged?
Yeah. Afghanistan is currently governed by the Taliban.
You're not wrong.
Okay. In Syria, we have a former ISIS and Al-Qaeda agent now leading that country. And then in Libya, I mean, you want to talk about destabilizing the Middle East. No country has destabilized the Middle East on Israel's behalf than the United States of America by overthrowing Gaddafi in Libya. By the way, that happened under Obama. This is not a Republican or Democrat thing. Both parties are complicit or actively involved in the regime change wars that have cost American lives, cost American resources. And I just ask that we maybe think this through a little more before we start beating the war drums.
But what? Hold on. I just want to say again that I'm an isolationist. I think that if you cannot, for most Americans, they can't even pick Iran on a map, we should not get involved. Like, this is not our business. That is my point of view. I want to wash my hands of the situation. I don't want to get involved. That said, Anna, respectfully, you fail to mention that the people who, like, for example, the Taliban, it's a moderated version of the Taliban, who has made concessions. Also, the guy from Al-Qaeda.
Oh, okay. That's
I understand they're bad, but it's a less bad version. We have to acknowledge that, though, because the guy who is now running Syria, he has made attempts and has very vocally said that I am not who I used to be.
Right.
I'm reformed. I just want to say that. This is not like your pure version of Al-Qaeda. It's not the Taliban of your grandfather, so to
The United
speak.
States should not be in the business of carrying out regime change wars anywhere.
Is this
period.
that, though, or is it
I agree with that, but
defanging
Trump
a
is not
global
going to
threat?
because he
That
ran
is the
on
question.
America
Look,
first.
we're
You're
making
right on the regime
predictions.
change thing. I couldn't agree with you more.
Okay.
I'm just saying, is
So-
this that? Because they are pretty freaking scary.
Well, that's the first video that you were going to play, right? That was where he was trying to appeal to people's emotions because he knows that people are against child brides. They're against all of these things. So, of course, that's going to be the main rhetoric used when putting out this video.
I just don't think that's our business.
I don't
Why do we
think
need
that's
to
the
get
rhetoric.
involved?
The rhetoric is they are the freaking top funders of Hamas, Hezbollah, the Shia militia. I mean, the list goes on and
Then
on.
let's let
They
Israel
were
deal
this
with it.
close
Thank you, Lindsay.
to
That's all I'm
having
asking. That's all I'm asking.
Okay, then we're in agreement about this.
Let
then.
Israel handle it. I don't think the United States taxpayers should fund that war. And I don't think, look, if they need defensive support, okay, fine. But no boots on the
We
ground.
already provided that with
and
Iron Dome.
absolutely
What else
no
do we
more
need to do?
American
Fair.
taxpayer money. Israel
I
should
agree
pay
with
for
you.
its own bombs.
I agree with you.
Okay,
Why don't you just say it at the beginning?
So you have a problem. Do you have a problem with the fact that currently the United States funds Israel's wars? We provide them over $3 billion a year in military aid. Do you want that to come to an end?
So, no, and I'll tell you why.
Why?
Because what you're doing is a disservice to all the other countries that the United States gives money to.
No, I disagree.
We give money to Palestine. We give money to Egypt. We give money to every single country in the world.
Currently,
Okay,
Israel
no,
is carrying out
we've
ethnic cleansing and
established a
genocide
rule.
of Palestinians. So, I mean...
a genocide.
Yeah,
Okay.
it is a genocide.
And there's no other
Yeah.
genocides going on in the world. It's just
We don't
Israel.
fund those
Wait,
genocides.
instead
We
of-
fund this
Pretty
genocide.
sure we fund a lot of
this
things right here.
genocide.
Instead of just
So-
blaming everything on Israel, though, can we
No,
also...
that's her-
Wait,
that's
hold
her
on.
MO.
Wait, can I just...
really
It's all
don't
Israel.
Hold on. Can I... Let me
all
finish
those
that point.
things
Anna didn't just outwit Adam. She held up a mirror to the entire circus of U.S. foreign policy. While Adam played identity ping pong and whined about who voted for Trump, Anna dropped the uncomfortable truth: we're being dragged yet into another war, this time by Netanyahu's delusional thirst for regime change in Iran. Sound familiar? It should. We've been here before. Iraq, 2003, WMDs that never exist, dead troops, trillions down the drain. And now, these same war-hungry cheerleaders are back, selling the same lies in shiny wrapping paper. Iran's not stupid. They've been around the block. They've seen the 6 other countries toppled. And yet, Israel and the US is expecting you to forget how it ended last time? The double standard is nauseating. We call out other nations terrorists, while we bankroll a state currently flattening Gaza and begging us to bleed for their ambitions. Anna's not just right. She's saying what most won't. If Israel wants war, let them fight it. Not your son, not your brother, not your future. So let's wake the hell up. Stop letting Israel first mouthpiece guilt you into silence. Speak louder, ask harder questions, and never ever let history be rewritten by the same hands covered in blood the first time around. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, y'all, so I'll catch you on the next one.